Guys, this is S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of June 30th. And the coming week will be a short week because the Friday 4th of July will be the holiday. Now yesterday S&P 500 made a new all-time high at 6187.68. The Nasdaq has made a new all-time high at 20,311.51. And the entire US stock market and all of the indices are expected to continue this bullish movement in the coming week. Now the most important question here, what has triggered the bullish movement in the S&P 500? Then once again the answer is obvious. It was the confluence zone. This confluence zone, because the S&P 500 never lost the confluence zone, it sustained and closed at or above the confluence zone. This is why the bullishness was expected. It was anticipated 100% S&P 500 will remain bullish irrespective of anything. This is why in my pre-market analysis on Monday to my Patreon community members on 23rd of June, I mentioned that the S&P 500 will remain in a condition to test and to recover the confluence zone. And as long as it is trading above the confluence zone, S&P 500 will remain bullish. There is no doubt about this. And when there was the ceasefire, the next day on Tuesday, we have seen a heavy gap up open. However, for the US stock market on Tuesday, it was about the testimony of the Fed chairman and not about the Strait of Hormuz or the Middle East war. That is why in this, the first update on Tuesday to my Patreon community members, after 1 hour, I mentioned that the Fed chairman is going neutral or dovish, and because of this, the S&P 500 and the entire US stock market will sustain bullish. Any fall will limit it to 606x because at that time it was trading above 606x. And even if it loses the 606x, then that fall will be limited to the 604x, and then again a recovery to or above 606x. Means it will remain bullish irrespective of anything. However, Thursday and Friday, 26th of June and 27th of June has brought the S&P 500 and the entire US stock market in a heavy bullish position, in a heavy bullish condition, that because of these 2 days, whatever happened on Thursday and Friday, we are going to see more bullish movement in the S&P 500. S&P 500 will enter into the 6,200 62XX range. Okay, because if you notice that yesterday on Friday to my Patreon community members, I mentioned that 617X is the pivot. Okay, any bullish movement will be to or around 617X, and even if there comes a little breach of this, then also in the 618X, my level is there in the 618X maximum to this. And if the S&P 500 trades above 617X, then this means that the S&P 500 is not sustainable. Any drop or any failure, hourly closing basis, okay, at this the 617X can still trigger a heavy intraday fall to the previous all-time high, that was 6147, including my heavy support zone that was around 6130. So it will be coming down to the small zone around 6130, and then there will be a recovery back to the 6147. So guys, I am going to discuss all of this in detail in this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. So guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And so far, if you have liked this video, then hit like to appreciate. And if you want to get these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, let me tell you that I have divided this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis in these 3 parts. Okay, first part is the weekly chart. I will do the technical analysis on the weekly chart. Weekly chart means the big picture, the long-term picture, and now the S&P 500 is absolute bullish, 100% bullish on the weekly and the daily chart. Okay, and I will show you that how it is going to work, okay, in the long term. Second is that I will do the technical analysis of the S&P 500 on the daily chart. Okay, on the daily chart, S&P 500 has gained the bullish movement and momentum, okay, and is expected to continue. Okay, so through the technicals I will show you, and also through the technicals I will show you if or when it is expected to saturate. Then in the third point or in the third part, I will tell you the probable movement of the SP500 from June 30th, which is Monday, to July 3rd, that will be Thursday. So just like last week, I mentioned that as long as S&P 500 is holding, sustaining, closing above the confluence zone, and there are very good chances, very heavy chances that it will, then it will remain bullish. No matter what, it will remain bullish. The only challenge will be the 606x. It will have to clear the 606x on the closing basis. Once that happens, then it is free to move towards the all-time high level. Okay, so this was the bullish side in the previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. Okay, similarly in this, the third point or the third part, I will tell you, okay, how this bullish movement is going to be seen in the next week, whether there are any chances for a fall or not. And guys, let me remind you once again that all of these three parts or three sections are interrelated, are interconnected. This is why it is recommended that you should watch all of these three sections, three parts, to understand what is going to happen in the S&P 500 in the next week. Now guys, this is the first part, and this is the weekly chart. W means the weekly chart. Weekly chart means one candle represents 1 week, not 1 day or 1 hour. Okay. Now let's first analyze the candle. If you notice, it's a very heavy bullish candle. Okay, the only problem is that the closing of the candle is not equal to or approximately equal to the high of the candle, and is also not above my calculated resistance level. Okay, that is why the chances of the gap up open are not much, but yes, an initial or intraday bullish movement can be seen through this the candle on Monday. Okay, so on Monday an initial or intraday bullish movement will be there. There may or may not come a gap up open. Okay, now this is the Dow Jones. Now if you notice the last weekly candle of the Dow Jones, again the same very heavy weekly candle, very heavy bullish candle. Okay, exactly the same. The gap up cannot be confirmed, but an initial or intraday bullish movement on Monday can be expected or will be seen. So in both of these the cases, we are seeing that an initial or intraday bullish movement will be there. But now here in case of the S&P 500, there is one more very interesting thing, that this weekly candle, last weekly candle has closed above the all-time high. Okay, that was 6147.43. okay, this weekly candle, it has closed above this. This means that the problem that would have been there, or that might have been there, because if the weekly closing would have been below the previous all-time high, then we might need to wait for 1 to 2 weeks before we can see a closing above the previous all-time high. But because this has happened yesterday on Friday, okay, when the week was closed and the weekly candle formed, so on the daily chart as well as on the weekly chart, it has closed above the previous all-time high. Okay, this is the condition that can trigger a gap up open. Okay, the candle itself is not indicating a gap up open, but this condition that the closing was above the all-time high level on the weekly chart, this is the condition that can trigger the gap up open. Okay, otherwise, irrespective of any open, there will be an initial or intraday bullish movement, irrespective of anything. Okay, however, if you notice, in case of the Dow Jones, there is no such condition. Okay, the all-time high of the Dow Jones was 45,073, 45073.63. But as of now, Dow Jones is trading around 43,849. So there is no such condition in the Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is not indicating any kind of gap up open through any method, just an initial or intraday bullish movement, that's it. Okay, on Monday. Now, so through the technicals, it will be very much clear. One more thing, a very interesting thing. Okay, it was in the Dow Jones and this was the moving averages. Let me first analyze the technicals, then I will tell you about that, the moving averages. But before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And so far, if you have liked this video, then hit like to appreciate, and your appreciation matters a lot. And if you want to get these daily precise updates of the SP 500, Dow Jones, and in a manner to the entire US stock market, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now, in terms of the technicals, S&P 500 is bullish through the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the moving averages on the weekly chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the MACD on the weekly chart. MACD is moving average convergence divergence. S&P 500 is bullish through the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart, and the S&P 500 is neither overbought nor saturated, okay, in the bull side. So S&P 500 is 100% absolute bullish on the weekly chart. Now let's analyze the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is bullish through the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the moving averages on the weekly chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the MACD on the weekly chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart, and also the Dow Jones is neither overbought nor saturated on the weekly chart. Okay, Dow Jones is also 100% absolute bullish on the weekly chart. Now, what does this mean, the absolute bullishness, 100% absolute bullishness? This means that the entire US stock market is now in a condition to continue bullish, to move bullish, and even if there comes any fall, then that fall will be limited. Okay, more bullish movement and limited fall. This is what the 100% bullishness means. But guys, whatever is going to happen or whatever will happen, I will keep you posted. I will keep you informed through these daily precise updates which I give to my Patreon community members every day from Monday through Friday. Okay, every day means pre-market analysis before the open of the stock market, midday update after 3 hours, final update 1 or 2 hours before the closing of the stock market. So in this manner, I help my Patreon community members. But guys, that's not all, because I also give the stock market opportunities in the premium stocks, the top 30-40 companies of the US stock market. So I give minimum 5 to 10 opportunities every week to my Patreon community members. And that's not all, because I also give the S&P 500 mid-week update. It is a video technical analysis that I give to my Patreon community members every Wednesday or Thursday, and I discuss the movement, the momentum, the conditions, precise levels, precise numbers, everything in detail. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community in order to get these, the daily precise updates, the stock market opportunities, and the midweek update, then I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And when you follow that link, then you will see that this is my Patreon page, this is my Patreon profile, and here you will see this option, this button, see membership options. And when you click on this button, the see membership option, then it will show you these 3 levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. Now level 1 and level 2 are the same. Okay, the only difference is the geographical location. So whenever you subscribe to either of these 2 levels, then you will be getting all midweek update videos, then daily S&P 500 analysis, updates, movement, levels and zones every day from Monday through Friday. Then the stock market opportunities, minimum 5 to 10 every week in the premium stocks of the US stock market. And this is level 3, and this level 3 is very special, because through this, the level 3, whatever you are going to get in level 1 and level 2, by default you will get the same in this, the level 3. Other than that, there will be one-on-one Zoom video meeting, just me and you, one-on-one. Okay, through this Zoom video meeting, I will tell you the entry and exit secrets. One premium hack, I will give you one premium hack which has very high accuracy, and you can predict the instant movement or the immediate movement. Okay, then the one trading or options strategy, again this options strategy or this trading strategy has very high accuracy. Then I will share with you the modified technical indicators that I use in order to predict the movement even before it is seen in the stock market. Then finally the options premium calculator. I will teach you how to calculate the premium value of any strike, okay, of any option, to past, present and future of any option. In this manner, this level 3 is very special. And guys, if you notice, many people have joined my Patreon community for last many days, weeks, months, years, and they are getting these daily precise updates every day from Monday through Friday, the stock market opportunities, the midweek update, and they are very well aware of what is happening and what is going to happen next. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community in order to get the daily precise updates, the stock market opportunities, the midweek update, then I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can join my Patreon community, and you are welcome. Now guys, I'm going to discuss the second point of the agenda, and this is the daily chart. D as in daily chart. Okay, daily chart means one candle represents one day, not 1 week or 1 hour. Okay, one candle means one day. Now let's first discuss the candle. If you notice, it's a good bullish candle, but there is no defined shape of the candle. Okay, the only good thing about the candle is that the open and the closing prices of the candles are above the closing price of the previous candle. That's it. Okay, what does this mean? This means that on Monday, irrespective of any open, there will be an initial or intraday bullish movement, but a gap up open is not seen. Now, the gap up open is not seen through this candle. Only an initial or intraday bullish movement on Monday through this candle. That's it. Okay. Now, let's analyze the candle of the Dow Jones, the last candle of the Dow Jones. Okay. It's a good or a heavy bullish candle. Okay. The most important part of the candle is that it is in the open equal to low condition. Open equal to low condition means the open price was the low for the entire day, and the Dow Jones has not breached or has not given up its low price, has not breached its open price. Okay, this is the most important part of this candle. What does this mean? This means that on Monday, irrespective of anything, okay, first of all, we are expecting a gap up open. Or irrespective of anything, there will be an initial or intraday bullish movement on Monday will be seen through the Dow Jones. Okay, now remember, this gap up is only and only because of the Dow Jones, that too on the weekly chart, on the daily chart. But the gap up is not seen in the SP 500 on the daily chart. Okay, and also what we have seen on the weekly chart. Okay, that irrespective of any open, there will be an initial or intraday bullish movement. So what does all of this means, or all of this indicates? All of this indicates that on Monday in the US stock market, in the entire US stock market, means the indices. Indices means S&P 500, Dow Jones, Nasdaq and their corresponding ETFs. Okay, like QQQ, etc. We are expecting an initial or intraday bullish movement. There may or may not be seen a gap up open, but an initial or intraday bullish movement will be seen or will happen on Monday. That's it. Okay, this is clear. Now, if there comes a gap up open on Monday, and if the gap up open, if the open price is above the high of this candle, then this will change the entire equation, because in that case, immediately it will come into a condition wherein we can expect that on Monday it can even breach the 620x that otherwise can create a problem to the S&P 500. Okay, well, so I will discuss this in detail in the next point. Okay, next section. So yes, now through the technicals, okay, it will be now very much clear. But guys, before I discuss the technicals, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And so far, if you have liked this video, then hit like to appreciate, and your appreciation matters a lot. And if you want to get these daily precise updates of the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and in a manner to the entire US stock market, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now, in terms of the technicals, S&P 500 is bullish through the Ichimoku cloud on the daily chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart. S&P 500 is bullish through the moving averages on the daily chart. And the most important thing here, S&P 500 is now bullish through the MACD on the daily chart. S&P 500 is also bullish through the stochastic RSI on the daily chart. It is as of now the S&P 500 is neither overbought nor saturated. Okay, now this means that the S&P 500 is 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart. The problem earlier was because of the MACD of the S&P 500, but on Thursday, because of the closing at 6141, okay, and this closing was above the mark that was 6130. Okay, because if the S&P 500 would have closed below the 6130, then MACD would have remained bearish, but it closed above 6130, okay, at 6141. That is why the MACD turned bullish on Thursday, and then that brought more bullish movement in the S&P 500. So S&P 500 is 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart. Now the Dow Jones is bullish through the Bollinger Bands on the daily chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the Ichimoku cloud on the daily chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the moving averages on the daily chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the MACD on the daily chart. Dow Jones is bullish through the stochastic RSI on the daily chart. Dow Jones is also neither overbought nor saturated. What does this mean? This means that the Dow Jones is also 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart. Now this is a very strong bullish combination. Okay, why? See, the S&P 500 and Dow Jones both are 100% absolute bullish on the weekly chart, and also both are 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart. This is a very, very strong bullish combination, which is indicating that in the next week, okay, there are fair chances, not fair, there are good chances that we can see a green candle, a green weekly candle, and if all goes well, then this will be like more than 1 or 1.5%. Okay, this is the green candle, but it will be very, very much clear on Monday itself whether there will be a green candle or not. Okay, through the numbers and the levels. So the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones are now, or the entire US stock market is in this the strong bullish condition. Okay, the only problem earlier was the probable slip, the formation of the slip through the MACD of the daily chart, because after 28th of May, okay, almost for almost 1 month, S&P 500 was trading with the bearish MACD, and this was actually creating a problem, and because of this we have seen that again and again the S&P 500 was testing the confluence zone but sustained, okay, and closed above the confluence zone. That is why we have seen more bullish movement, and then finally on Thursday, okay, there was a bullish change in the MACD of the S&P 500. Now as such, immediately in next 1 to 2 days or until Tuesday, there is no problem as such, but Tuesday onwards the S&P 500 will start to hit the saturation levels. Okay, this means that in the next week the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 are going to hit the saturation if the indices continue to move up. In that case, saturation and overbought conditions will be seen in the middle of the week or as early as on Tuesday itself. Otherwise Wednesday will be there. Okay, but because it is a short week, okay, so I will discuss this, a short week, and this the condition implication of this. But before that, you need to understand this is how the technicals work. Means if the MACD is trading bearish, then the MACD is creating a problem or a big problem for the entire S&P 500, but now it has turned bullish. So there is a relief. Now guys, I have this important information to share with you, that this is my S&P 500 knowledge transfer program. So whatever I know, whatever I have learned, everything, okay, I am going to share with you. I am going to teach you through this S&P 500 knowledge transfer program. Okay, there will be one-on-one meeting, just me and you. Okay, and also the name is S&P 500 knowledge transfer program, but whatever I am going to teach here through the program will be applicable to any stock, any currency, any crypto, okay, or commodity. Means whatever is traded in the stock market, these principles, these logics, these hacks will be applicable to everything that is traded in the stock market. So I will cover from basics to the advanced. Okay, then I will share with you my modified technical indicators. I'll help you set up your charts. Then I will share with you the trading strategies, and I will tell you the trading strategies in a different manner that you might not have even tried, or you might not going to get these same through any YouTube channel or through any like articles or anywhere. Okay, in a very different method. Then the market analysis, how to analyze the movement of the market, the information, how to analyze the information, etc. Then I will share with you the options and the options trading strategies. Okay, from basics to advanced, I will discuss the options. Okay, and then the option trading strategies, and also the options premium calculator. And also I will in this the live session, I will show you, okay, how to calculate the premium value and how accurate this value to the bid and the ask price. Then the support and resistance levels for next 5 years. Then the price prediction, okay, how to predict the price or how to predict the movement. For example, I predicted 6147. Okay, it was there, then there will be a fall. I predicted 606x, reversal will be to 606x, then there will be a fall, but fall to the confluence zone. Okay, so similarly, how to predict the movement, how to predict the price. Okay, then comes the trend analysis. Then how to recognize that manipulation in the stock market, how to convert the manipulation or how to convert the trap into the opportunities. Okay, then the hacks, intraday hacks, short-term hacks, long-term hacks with very high accuracy. Then these are some important terms and conditions. These are the snapshots of the meetings. So guys, whenever you want to participate in this program, or if you have any questions that you want to ask, then I have given my email address, or I mentioned my email address, okay, in this Google spreadsheet. And also I have given the link to this Google spreadsheet in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, I'm going to discuss the third and the last point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here I will give you the probable movement. Means I will tell you what is going to happen in the S&P 500 and in the entire US stock market in the next week, means the week of June 30th. Okay. Before that, you need to understand it will be a short week. A short week means Friday, 4th of July will be the holiday, and on 3rd of July, okay, there will be the half day session only. The US stock market will close around 1 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, this means that the short week itself indicates a bullish week. Okay, one more thing to add here, that next week there is no significant data, okay, that is going to be released. Okay, only on Thursday, on July 3rd, Thursday, the non-farm payroll data and the unemployment data will be released. But because on Thursday this the US stock market will close early at 1 p.m. Eastern time, this means that even if the data is seen negative, then also the stock market will remain in a condition to move and to trade bullish. Okay, so in a manner, the coming week is expected to be bullish. Okay, more than the bearish, it is expected to be bullish. Only if something comes out of nowhere, like Middle East, okay, there comes like, okay, that the war is going to resume, okay, or that the Strait of Hormuz, okay, through which the around 13-14% of the oil is transported, it is going to be closed. So that will be the factor that can trigger a good fall. Otherwise, okay, as such, there is nothing. Yes, there is one more thing. Well, I'm not expecting the impact of that to happen in the next week. That is July 9th. What is so special about the July 9th? Remember, the president has imposed tariffs, high tariffs, heavy tariffs, okay, almost on all of the countries. Then after a few days, then he has withdrawn. He has said that there will be a 90 days pause, okay, on those tariffs. This 90 days pause, okay, ends on July 9th. Okay, so we have seen that earlier when he has announced the tariffs. Okay, tariffs were in effect from, I think, 2nd of April or from 7th of April or 9th of April. Okay, we have seen very heavy fall in the entire US stock market. 20-25% fall, 27% fall, heavy fall. Okay, so this, the July 9th, okay, is when the 90 days will complete. Okay, and if there comes no more extension, in that case, whatever the high S&P 500 is going to make, okay, in the coming week, in the week of June 30th, okay, or before July 9th, that will be the all-time high, and then again a very heavy fall, 20-25%. Okay, and one more thing, the recession that we were talking about, or the Feds were talking about, okay, as of now it is not there. Okay, if the president proceeds with the tariffs, he says that no more extensions, the tariffs rates will remain as is, okay, heavy rates, etc., especially China, okay, then yes, then the recession will be triggered. Okay, otherwise not. Yes, in that case only the correction will be there. We can expect a correction. Now in terms of the numbers, what we know is that the S&P 500 yesterday, okay, there was a gap up open at 6150. Since then it moved up to 617. It moved to, yesterday the high was 6187.68. Okay, my pivot point was 617x. Okay, with a condition that the S&P 500 will remain to or around 617x, but as long as it is trading around, okay, especially in the open equal to low condition above 6150, okay, and it try to move above, then it will remain in a condition that there will be a sudden and heavy intraday fall to 6147. It can even breach the 6147 to a zone, a little zone, okay, that is around 6130. Okay, this is the little zone, but then there will be a recovery from the zone to the 6147, and then it will remain or trade around 6147. Okay, so this was the yesterday movement. This is what we knew, okay, in advance, even before the movement was seen. So this was not a surprise to us. Okay, the bearish side will remain limited and restricted. Limited and restricted to what? Limited and restricted to the 6100. What was 6100? The high of this candle was the 6100. Okay, then in between the 6100 and 6147, okay, there were other, short-term highs. Okay, and then there are my calculated, support zone. So this means that the bearish side will remain and limited and restricted to this. Okay, to what? At most to 6100. Only in those two conditions. What those two conditions? Number one, president, okay, prepones that the tariff pause from July 9th to July 4th or July 3rd, and he announces this, okay, before Thursday. Number two, the Strait of Hormuz, okay, if Middle East situation, if it does not improve, okay, ceasefire is violated or so, and Strait of Hormuz is closed, any of these two conditions or both of these two conditions will trigger a fall wherein 6100 will not be able to hold. Then comes the 606x and 604x. Now 606x and 604x are the conditions for these two. Okay, but if neither of these happens, then what will happen in that case? Then in that case, any fall, any kind of fall will be limited, will be restricted to the 6100. Before that, there is a little zone around 6130. This zone will hold the fall. Okay, before that, the 6147 is there. So in this manner, as long as S&P 500 is trading above 6147, any fall will be limited to the 6147 itself, because the momentum is expected to remain dull. This means that 6147 or to the zone that is around 6130, that's it. This means that 6100 will not come into the picture. Okay, under normal momentum or less than expected momentum, okay, any fall will be limited to these two. First one is the 6147. Actually there is a small zone, okay, that is why I say 614x. There is a small zone around 6147, this is small zone, then the zone that is around 6130, okay, this is small zone. Any kind of fall will be handled by these two zones, limited and restricted, the bearish side movement. Okay, and this is when those two conditions are not seen. Okay, what two conditions? Okay, Middle East and the tariffs. Now bull side, yeah, so bull side, okay, expected bullish movement is expected. Now more bullish sentiments are there in the market. Why? Because the closing was seen above the 6147, the previous all-time high. So by default, naturally there will be the bullish momentum, or sorry, bullish sentiments will be there in the market. This means that in order to move up, okay, the S&P 500 will have to close above the high of this candle, 6187.68, that's it, or my level, that is 618x, that's it, which is around, okay, this is the high. Once there comes a closing above this high, perfect. This means that now the S&P 500 is going to move up. What after this, the high? Okay, then comes 620x. This is actually a problem, okay, because an early fall, what an early fall in the S&P 500 in the market can be seen or can be triggered, okay, from or around 620x. But then also this fall will be limited to what? 6147, the zone that is around 6147, that's it. Okay, but if the S&P 500 moves up on Monday, okay, test the 620x, fails, closes below the high of this candle, okay, then it will get one more day, Tuesday. If it does the same again, moves up, test the 620x, fails and closes below 6, this is the high, 6187.68. in that case we will anticipate a fall to 6147, and then the zone that is around 6147, and the next zone that is around 6130. These two zones will be hit back to back, either in the same day or in 2 days, means one day and then the second day, back to back. The S&P 500 will hit these zones, okay, and will sustain, okay. This is not indicating or triggering a heavy fall, will sustain, okay, and then they will be the end of the week, okay. But if on Monday, okay, it doesn't matter whether it hits the 620x or not, the S&P 500 moves up, okay, closes above the high, it closes above the high of this candle, then it will remain in a condition that it can test again and again the 620x, and then will sustain, will hold, or any fall will then be limited to the high of this candle or the 617x, that's it. Okay, we will not anticipate any more fall. It will test, come down, test, sustain, and again a recovery, more bullish movement. Once the 620x, now if the S&P 500 recovers the 620x on the closing basis, okay, let's say at most by Tuesday, then it will be having Wednesday and Thursday to move towards 6 to it is around 4x or 6 to 5x, okay, somewhere around means in the middle of the 6200, okay. This is the zone. So when in last October, when I was discussing that 614x, okay, will be the all-time high for the S&P 500, okay, and there is a very little probability, very little possibility that if the S&P 500 does not fail or fails to or keeps on moving up and enters into 615x, means it does not form an all-time high in the 614x, it enters into the 615x, then we can anticipate the bullish movement to continue to around the middle of the 6200. Okay, because then the second point of failure, then the second point of this, the heavy failure, okay, or the all-time high, or the second this all-time high, we were expecting in the in the middle of the 6200. Okay, yes, now there will be a little change to that. Okay, a heavy long-term fall might not be seen, but yes, a short-term fall, short-term bearish movement can be triggered. Okay, somewhere in the middle of the 6000, somewhere in the middle of the 6000. Okay, so when the S&P 500 recovers the 620x, then and if you are my Patreon community member, then I will tell you this, okay, the exact number where we are expecting this to happen. So this means that in the next week, in the coming week, the S&P 500 is expected to trade in between the 6200 in the almost, or not almost, but in the middle of the 6200. Okay, and the zone that is around 6130, 6147, there is a little zone around 6147. Okay, if it remains mostly above in the bull side, then this will not come into the picture. Only the zone, the 6147, will hold any kind of fall. Okay, then the high of this candle 6187.68, we need at least one closing, daily closing, so that more bullish room can be created. Okay, to what? To the 620x, and then to the middle of the 6200. I will tell you through these the updates, either in the pre-market analysis, okay, or in the midday, or in the midday update, or in the final update. Okay, but guys, if you have not yet joined my Patreon community, then I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can join my Patreon community. So guys, in this manner, okay, S&P 500 will give a limited bearish side movement, but some good bullish side movement. Good bullish side movement does not mean there will be a back-to-back very heavy 5-6% bullish movement. No, that will not. Because you need to understand, yes, there is one more thing I forgot to mention that. But guys, before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. So this important thing is that if the S&P 500 keeps on moving up, there comes one more bullish candle on Monday, one more bullish candle on Tuesday. Then as early as on Tuesday, immediately, okay, after open, the S&P 500 will hit the saturation and the overbought on the daily chart. On the lower level chart, already it is there, but it will again, okay, Monday it can survive, not a problem. But on Tuesday, okay, this is something that we can see. It will hit the overbought and it will hit the saturation. And then from the Tuesday onwards, it will come into a condition where we can anticipate a fall. Okay, but then again, at the same time, we need to see what is happening at the 620x. This is the level, the 6200, okay, this is the level. What is happening when it is giving a bullish candle, okay, and when the saturation is there and the overbought condition is there. Okay, but if it sustains, one more thing, if the S&P 500 sustains by Wednesday, then on Thursday there will be very little or very limited chances, okay, of a fall, because the Thursday will be the half day. Okay, the expiry will shift to Thursday, so we can anticipate, okay, that all of this means on Thursday, in that case, we can expect a little movement, normal movement. Okay, not a heavy fall, but see, if on Thursday the S&P 500 fails to give a heavy bullish candle, then it will not give a heavy bearish candle either. It will simply give a very limited, very normal, very small green or red candle. That's it. So in this manner, okay, it is going to work. So guys, hit like if you have liked this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, and your appreciation matters a lot. And guys, if you have any questions that you want to ask, then I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section.